All right, it's shock making time, and in the Pro kit, you get these completely transparent shock bodies. Very interesting little thing that they do with some of their upgraded kits. I don't quite get it. It's different though. They're not. I don't know what. I really don't know what's up with going with transparent completely. You know, some sort of anodization would be nice, or maybe a different color of plastic that looks cooler. I don't know, but this is what they give you. It's transparent top, transparent bottom, transparent main cylinder, and even the little O-rings are transparent or almost transparent. The fronts and the rears are not built the same because this vehicle does have bias. It does have weight bias to it. So when you're building these things up, be sure to be careful and make sure that you use the correct parts. For instance, the rear uses the 1-hole pistons, whereas up front it looks like it uses the 3-hole pistons. Also watch the spacers, the internal travel limit, the down travel limiters are different in the front and the rear, but the oil is the same. So here right now I'm building the rears first, and once I get enough of this built together, I'll go ahead and go assembly line on it. This is another thing where I've done a video before, RC kit building tips for shocks. I show you just some tips. Again, if you're not a pro builder, some things that might be helpful for you. So look for that on my channel, RC kit building tips. And it has shocks in the title. There we go. 2 front main bodies taken care of there. Kind of see-through little instructional kit sort of action going there. I'll go ahead and start the filling process for these. Of course, a cool thing about having them clear is that you can see exactly where the oil is going, and you can see if you have any air pockets in there, you can visibly see them. Now while my rear shocks are over here on the stand with oil in them, just waiting for the air bubbles to make their way up to the top, start assembling the front shocks over here, just so I have a little less downtime. You know, it makes it more efficient to go through the process and just keep that forward momentum going. Well, I did learn something from using these see-through shock bodies. I learned that when you use an internal spacer, down travel limiter, on the shock shaft on the inside, when you're first assembling the shock, that darn thing traps a lot of air underneath of it, and air tends to just hide down in there. I actually spent most of the time of trying to evacuate air from these things to get them good. Most of the time was spent trying to get the air out from underneath that little bottom spacer in there. Ugh. Filling these shocks up was not fun. Thing about being able to see through them, yeah, you can see the air, and you can see just how quickly and how readily the air comes back in no matter what you do. Don't like that. There's this back and forward play. Lots of it up top. I don't like that at all. Up front, this is a step I actually should have done in the previous video, but oh well. This whole front piece gets covered, gets a nice upper chassis piece in the front. And with that done, this thing is all shocked up. And yeah, there we go. feel pretty decent, feel good. Did manage to build them without much, if any, air that you can really see. So I've got no squeaking going on, so like I say, it was a little bit frustrating to get that way. Really not liking how much play there is front to rear on these shock mounts. These caps, or top and bottom ends for the shocks, were actually designed to go over ball ends, but they didn't use those here. They used these long shoulder bolts. Lots of room there. It's not going to affect performance. The up and down, there is a little bit of play back and forth, up and down in there also, so that's giving it, yeah, you can see it right there. It's giving it a little bit of just play, which I'm not happy about one bit. I would like to replace these top and bottom at the front, and then just the tops at the rear with some actual ball studs. If I was going to keep this for a long time, we'll see how that works out. But that's the end of this stage of the build, and now it's going to be a matter of setting up the electronics, getting some wheels and tires on there, and then I'll just need to paint up a body, and it'll be time to actually give this thing its first drive.